Really, what is Valentine's Day? Very few people actually understand what is its origin, what is its spirit, and what symbolic message it sends to you and me. The conception of Valentine's Day is, it's the day of love. It's the day where you give your heart to your Valentine in the form of loving notes and messages and cards and gifts. So really, it's today the festival worshiping Kamadev. Yes? It's Cupid's festival. It's a day when the obsession of the passion of materialistic love is honored. Of course, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that the love of Valentine's Day and the love between a devotee of Krishna is like the difference between gold and iron. One is kama, lust, and the other is actually the expression of the ecstatic affection of the heart for God. Valentine's Day is named after Saint Valentine's. When I was young, no one called it Valentine's Day. Everyone called it Saint Valentine's Day. Now they just call it Valentine's Day because they don't want to think about saints. Because it's actually totally contradictory to the whole conception of what Valentine's Day is all about. Who is Saint Valentine? There were two Saint Valentines, and they were both celibate monks who were preachers of God consciousness. One of them was a Catholic priest who lived in Rome. And he preached the message of love of God with such enthusiasm. And there was so much opposition against him. He lived in the second half of the 3rd century. That means just 200 and some years after Jesus Christ. And even though preaching of Christianity was against the law, it was a criminal activity. He was preaching. He was risking his life. And he was a brahmachari. He was a priest. He sacrificed family life, any relationship with sex, for the sake of preaching the message of love of God. And he was captured, he was tortured, and he was killed. He's one of the great martyrs of the Catholic Church. And then the second Saint Valentine, he was a bishop in the Catholic Church. He was also a celibate monk who dedicated his whole life to God consciousness, and he was a preacher. And he was also captured, tortured, and killed because he wouldn't give up preaching devotion to God. Saint Valentine, these two great personalities, they sacrificed all the pleasures of this world, life itself, to serve God. So you may be wondering, what does that have to do with Valentine's Day and today? I don't think any celibate is giving Valentines, at least they're not supposed to. And Saint Valentine was celibate. He respected every woman as his mother. But a little later, because the day that both these Saint Valentines were killed, were murdered, was February 14th. So in England and France, February 14th is the middle of the second month of the year. It's like the beginning of spring. Yes? Oh, we're celebrating Basant Panchami, beginning of spring. Now, what people saw is just in as the spring is beginning, February 14th, they saw male and female birds meeting in the trees and mating. It's the mating season, the inauguration of the mating season for the birds and the beasts. So devotees see it for what it is. But romantic materialists, they are very attracted to this when they see a male bird and a female bird, biting each other with their beaks and having sex life. This is considered something very nice. So since the middle of February is the day when the birds mate, they were thinking that we should consecrate this day as the day of showing your passionate love to others, because that's what the birds do on this day. And it happened to be the day that Saint Valentine was murdered. So it became known as Saint Valentine's Day. Hare Krishna. So really what Saint Valentine's Day is all about for a religious person is giving up everything, being willing to undergo even torture and death in the service of the Lord. That's what Saint Valentine's Day represents to a vaisnava or to a devotee. But to a materialistic person, Saint Valentine's Day means following in the footsteps of the lusty birds. Hare Krishna. We see the birds mating, and we think this is romance. This is something wonderful. Let me do it too. Let me be like the birds. That is Valentine's Day. Human beings trying to follow in the footsteps of the birds. Hare Krishna. But at the same time, Rupa Goswami explains that just as a young boy loves a young girl, in the same way, if we can just repose our love toward Krishna, we will achieve the ultimate perfection of life. That same propensity for love and affection, if we offer it to Krishna, it is the ultimate perfection of life. That love of the heart, its nature, is to be offered to Krishna. Bhishma Dev explained the definition of love, to repose all one's affection in one object. And that can only be Krishna. He is the all-attractive one. And in this material world, people under the spell of Maya, they try to offer that great treasure of affection that is within their hearts to temporary things of this world with the expectation of sense gratification. That is kama, or lust. So how to transform lust into love? That is actually the art of living. How to transform our passion to enjoy this world to a deeper passion to serve Krishna, to please Krishna, to love Krishna, by offering Valentines to the deities of Radha and Krishna with a proper understanding, by the loud chanting of the holy names in Sankirtan. Probably one of the only places in the whole planet on that day, February 14th, that Saint Valentine was actually offering his blessings.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.